So basically, these videos, I'm recording a ton of them on basically the same day over the next couple of weeks. I just have extreme motivation at the moment to just record a ton of things. So while inspiration strikes, I'm going to act upon it, right? So all these videos are kind of going to be brain dump. Honestly, this video is going to be kind of brain dump as well. But if you can understand the principles I'm trying to teach in it, if you can kind of extract throughout my ramblings the message I'm trying to convey, right? You'll be much better. You'll be so far ahead. So for me, how I'm setting goals right now is I am doing everything on paper for one. I'm basically like I've got it behind me even, right? Everything's on paper. Everything's in a certain format, and I've been teaching this format to a couple friends of mine, and I've been doing it myself, and I've seen drastic change. Obviously, I'm actioning upon it every day, doing long days. But doing long days isn't going to cut it if you don't know where you're going, right? So I was reading this book recently by Brian Tracy. I'll probably link it below or whatever. Actually, I'll find it right now. One second. Throw this up on Screen Fusion, bro. So the book I'm reading right now is The Power of Self-Discipline, right? I'll get somebody to throw it right up there. So The Power of Self-Discipline by Brian Tracy. It's whatever comes up right there. Um, it's The Power of Self-Discipline for Success in Your Life, No Excuses. Brian Tracy, great book. I actually got suggested it by Samuel Onuha. I'm pretty sure he's the one that mentioned it in a podcast he did with Mike Thurston, I think it is. Anyways, I decided to give it a listen. Basically, Brian goes in about halfway through the book, essentially how to set goals. I think it was chapter 4. And I found the kind of lesson or message he was trying to convey very, very key, and I found it very interesting. So it basically states, I'll give it a very crappy overview, but I would suggest going and just reading it. It is write 10 goals on a piece of paper. So you would literally just dot point it down the list. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and goal, 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 goal. Now, these goals can apply to finance, fitness, family, houses, material things, whatever it may be. So you would write the 10 down. You would circle the one that's going to achieve the other ones. So say you wrote down car, house, all money things, watch, whatever, 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 right? And you wrote down X amount of income per month. Obviously, the income is going to have the most impact on the rest of those goals, okay? So you would circle the main goal that's going to impact the rest the most. Say for you, it's $10,000 a month or whatever it may be. That seems to be a very fucking cliche one in the industry. $10,000 a month. Everyone's obsessed with this. There is a good reason why your life does change the most at 10,000 a month. I guess you can do the most things. You can basically do anything you want at 10,000 a month. So I get it. So let's say your goal is 10,000 a month, right? And you've written that down. You would circle that, and then you would put it on the start as a header on a new page. On the new page, you put $10,000 a month. That'll basically become your focal point, right? From that, you kind of want to set deadlines, but the way I set deadlines and the way Brian sets deadlines, right? I never understood this. I was like, for me, I used to write goals down, right? I'll be like, car by X date. And then I wouldn't hit it by X date, and I'd be like, what the fuck, bro? I've failed. Brian kind of explains a point of view or, this thing in it where he says, just change the fucking deadline. So if you don't hit it by X deadline, don't give up on the goal. Just go set the deadline again, another 6 months down. You're obviously going to be much further ahead than anyone else who hasn't set a deadline or doesn't even have these goals, right? So this is kind of what you want to do with that, is you want to set the deadline. If you don't hit it at that deadline, move it. But make sure you're working towards it every day. But don't be discouraged by not hitting it in that time. Now, so you should have a fresh piece of paper with your goal, $10,000 a month for this example. You basically want to organize it by, well, you actually want to just write. The way I've done it is I've written it on a new piece of paper, header, as we discussed, and then I write 20 points of how I can achieve this. Basically, answers. So you kind of write the header as a question. So I'll look at mine, for example. So I'd write, for you guys, it would be like, earn $10,000 per month by X date, or how can I earn $10,000, right? You want to write it as a question. How can I earn $10,000 per month by X date? So then you would write answers to yourself. Like, what's 20 answers that's applicable to your industry? Now, I gave this to someone who came back with very crazy answers that weren't very applicable to the field of study that he was doing. Um, he was writing down strip clubs and everything. And I was like, bro, you're a salesman. Why are you writing this down? And he was like, oh, true. So make sure they're actually applicable to the goal. So if you're in an agency space and your goal is to get to 10,000 a month, don't start writing down how you're going to start selling drugs, right? Or something like that. Make it applicable to what you're doing. If you're in the agency space, you want $10,000 a month. Obviously, how could I get that is, okay, send more DMs, start doing Loom strategy, start whatever it may be, right? And just start answering these like 20 times to yourself. Question, 20 answers. Okay? That's basically a concept that he calls mindstorming. Don't mind me if I look at my other screen. I am just referring to my own notes, referring to my own mindstorm, etc. So you would answer a minimum of 20 questions. Outreach to new clients, keep going on until 20. It'll probably be difficult after the first 5, but just sit there, persist through, and just keep writing. And then whatever jumps out at you, right? If you look at the 20 things that you've just written down, okay, you now want to look back over it and be like, what could I action on right now? Now, a big one for me was I realized, okay, ask people that are ahead of me. Now, he goes over in the book how people don't even ask people ahead of them at a certain point, and I realized, look, I haven't asked people ahead of me in ages. I don't know why. It's just something that I stopped doing. So for me, an actionable was reaching out to somebody that I knew was extremely ahead of me in my industry and doing really well. So I reached out, and to my surprise, he went above and beyond. Him and his team, like the guys I spoke to, went basically above and beyond to help me in my goal, even though they're like 5, 10 steps ahead, right? Now, you want to work on this 7 days a week. I know some of you are like, oh, 7 days a week. But yeah, bro, you just want to action on it. You either want your goals or you don't. It's really like that simple. I know some people say you could probably do it in 3, but in my opinion, if you could achieve it at a faster rate, why would you not want to? So I would allocate as much time as possible. I'd literally just sit there, like do it 24/7 almost. Like sleep 6, 7, 8 hours a night, whatever it may be for you. And then the other times, just allocate all your time behind this goal, all your effort behind this goal. Don't give up. Failure is not really an option if you just keep going. You've never really failed at anything until you quit, right? So just don't quit, and you can't fail. And make sure you're working towards the right things. Keep reiterating on what's wrong, and just keep pushing forward. Anyways, it's basically a little overview of how I'm setting my goals recently. I know this is like already within the last week of me resetting. It's like, bro, it's changed everything, right? So you guys should try it out for yourselves. That's the way I'm setting goals going forward. And I'll probably reiterate on this maybe every 6 months. I'll see what I've hit, what I haven't hit, see what needs working on. But yeah, if you guys need help with any of that stuff, just leave it in the bottom. This should be pretty helpful. If you just go over it multiple times, you should be able to understand basically what I'm trying to convey, and you should be able to piece it together.